Love should be easy. Why should it not? When all you want is to be loved, is to be loved. But love ain't easy. You taught me that. I let you in, now you want out, now you want out. I don't understand why you hurt me. I don't understand why you wanna let me down. Can't understand. Was it all worth it? You played me good just for a rush, just for a rush. So now I wrote a song about us with tears running down my face. Now I wrote a song about us, just trying to feel that empty.
What's going on, everybody? I am here. I'll be on in a few minutes. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'll be there in one, give me like a minute.
You left behind, you left behind. Can someone help me to find love again? 'Cause all I want is to be loved, is to be loved. Can someone free me from all my doubts? Feels like a prison, I want out, now I want
What's going on, everybody?
to understand.
Let me get off of this real quick. What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Just move this over a little bit. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I am doing well. Stomach hurts a little bit today. But let's see what we got. Let's see who's here. Oh, my man. Let's see. Frank, what's up, bro? I hope you're doing well. Hope the school year is going absolutely fantastic. Good to see you, man. Let's see, who else we got here? John, what's up, John? Where you guys checking in from? Do me a favor, put it in the chat. Let me know where you guys are coming from. I know Frank's from Jersey, so represent. Let's see here, John, hey, sir, what's going on? I'm doing all right, I'm doing all right. My stomach hurts a little bit, but I just figured I'd get on live just to kind of test things out, etc., etc. NDZ, I don't know how to pronounce that, but hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well, or ma'am, sir, not sure what it is. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna check a couple things. Let me know how things sound. I think I got the things kind of dialed in pretty well now at this point, I'm hoping. So, and I'm gonna practice a little bit. Well, first of all, whatever questions you may have, just put them in the question mark box, and I will answer them as best as I can. All right. So yeah, let me know how the drums sound, and then I'll continue here with all this madness. So here's this. How did Tom sound? Everything sound good? Especially, I was working on the 14 a little bit. I tuned it up. It was too low before. Cool. I'm gonna play a little bit. I have a clinic coming up in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. So if anybody's in the Atlanta area, I will be in Atlanta October 25th. I'll be there giving a drum clinic. There's gonna be a bunch of giveaways. Pearl drums. I'm sorry. Yeah, Pearl will be giving away something. Mino's sending stuff. Remo, Vic Firth, Earthworks is sending some really dope stuff. So if you're in the clinic, if you win the microphones, you're gonna be very happy. So the Earthworks is sending something, and then Automute also will be sending some stuff too for you, or kind of customize something for you, which is dope. And then also just in Shed Tracks, which is like a subscription kind of based kind of thing with drum play-alongs, amazing drum play-alongs. Is also doing a giveaway, so they're entering, and also I got the BeatNote app. I don't know if you know what a BeatNote app is, but BeatNote app is crazy. Like, you can notate things, you can send PDF files, you can export the PDF file. You can export it as a PNG to your students. You can also, right now, they're also working on exporting video. So if you have notation that you want to put on a video, you can do that as well. It's sick. So again, if you're in the Atlanta area, I will be there in a few days, well, like 2 weeks or so. So yeah, if you're around, I can't wait to see and meet some of you guys out there. It's gonna be fun. Also working on some other drum clinics throughout the country, so I'm really stoked. I'm gonna play a little bit and then let's see, and then I'll answer some questions. So if anybody has any questions, put them in the chat and I will answer them today. I don't know how long I'll stay on. Again, my stomach's been kind of jacked up. I figured I'd just get on because everybody is at the house. And yeah, all right, let's see here. So this is a track from my trio album. You can get this on my website if you want. This is called Talk to Me. I'm gonna see if I can, I'm gonna try to play without the click. That way it's hopefully in time, but we'll see. Yeah, baby. That's called Talk to Me. And that was written by Eli Menezzi, Patrick, Andy, myself, mostly Eli, which is cool. So I'll be playing that at the clinic. I was just getting things ready. All right, let's see what we got here. Route 9, let's go. Oh, we got people from India. What's going on? Am Easy. Ooh, Am Easy. Love that. All right, we got something here. I've listened to tons of Latin music, especially recently from La Dimensión Latina, El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico, Eddie Palmieri, to name a few. What are artists of this genre that you can recommend? Oh my God, there is a lot. So this is part of my Latin drumming package that I have on my not on my website, on buymeacoffee.com. So I'm gonna give this to you right now so you can see it. At least the recommended classics, if that makes sense. All right, so here's one. So here's oh, my bad. So we got, I'll turn it this way so you can, hopefully it goes, boom, okay. So here's some salsa album recommendations. So these are from like the 60s all the way to like 1980s, not even maybe the 80s, late 80s. So those can get you started. That's what I would recommend if I were you. You can find all this stuff on buymeacoffee.com, which has all my stuff on it. Yeah, it's really cool, man. So yeah, those are all pretty much the ones I would recommend. And then the other ones will have, for example, let's see here. So that's where you can get it. You can get it at buymeacoffee.com. Check it out there. It's all there. But essentially, that's what it is. It's this. Let me get this out of the way. So you can get, what is going on here? Sorry, I am trying to take this out. I don't need this anymore. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Sorry, I just got this program, so I'm trying to figure things out. What is going on here? All right, so anyhow, so you can get all that stuff there. All right, so that's what's going on there. So there's so much. There's so many things you can listen to. Let's see. John, thank you so much. Let's see what we got here. Paken, what's going on, brother? Let's see here. Can you? Oh, snap. It's Casey's birthday. Can you and everyone sing me happy birthday? Yes, we can. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Casey. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Look at that. You even get some balloons. Might even get some fireworks there. Shout out to Casey. Happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. Thanks for joining me on your birthday. I'm honored. I appreciate that. Let's see here what we got here. JP Drums. What are some practice exercises that you can help improve my speed when playing linear grooves and fills? Great question. So I recommend, first, obviously, the obvious answer is you got to practice with a metronome. That's number one, right? And you have to kind of keep yourself like a journal or some sort of log. That way you can see your progress or see what it is that you're actually doing. If you go into the practice room kind of like with a cold slate and no plan, you're not going to see the progress or be able to, actually witness what you're trying to accomplish, right? So let's see, grooves or fills. All right, so let's say, okay, let's just go with fills because everybody loves fills, right? So let's say, I don't know. Let's say you're going right, left kick, right? Right? In order for you to, or right, left kick. Let's say right, left kick. Right? The first thing I would do is I would obviously practice with a metronome and do it in, like, for example, in a rate that you're comfortable with. So for example, that rate can be, let's say 16th notes, right? So let me just put on a metronome here. By the way, I'm using Rhythm Bop from my boy JP Bouvet. If you don't know who JP is, you need to know who he is. He's amazing, and I like to support my people. So I'm at let's say 90 BPM, right? So let's say here, 3, 4, 1, right? The goal here is not the speed. The goal here is to have the control, right? So let's say 2 measures of the right left kick, 3, 4. Right? So the goal here is once you have that, it's don't speed it up immediately. Like start working on different patterns based off of, well, start working on different accents based on that. That way you can build ideas more than speed, because speed is whatever. The more ideas you have, the better. So for example, then you just accent all the right hands. Right? Once you have that, then accent all the left hands. 1, 2. Then you can accent, then you can start really maneuvering this however you want. So manipulate it with just adding accents randomly. So now what you're trying to do is form melodies. And that's, honestly, that's the most important thing is can you hear the rhythms that you're playing? It's not about the speed. It's like, can you hear the melodies that you want to play? Because the speed will come if you're able to hear it. But the problem is most people can't hear what they're trying to play, or they're just kind of going with muscle memory, and they're just kind of, going, which is great, but I mean, how musical is that? You know what I mean? So again, the next step is to be like accent the right hands and the left hands, improvising. 1, 2. And that may not sound like much, but once you start speeding this up, this becomes a little bit more interesting, right? So now what I'll do is, just to save time because I have other questions that I want to answer, is let's say you build this up and now you play this instead of 16th notes, you play them as 32nd notes. Now, taking the same idea and concepts, you'll have some shape and some phrasing, and you're still working on your speed as well if you need to, So 1. So instead of playing it here like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, you're playing, actually, let me slow that down. That's really fast. Let's say 70 BPM, right? So if you're here, here's the 32nd note. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll take that same pattern, right, left, kick, and then improvise using that. So 3. And go about it that way instead of, worrying about speed. Speed will come. Control is the most important thing. Being able to control what you're playing is the most important thing at that point. All right, Leandro, hola, mi pan. Bendición, espero que todo está bien. Dios mío. Gracias, Luis. Can you please, that music list? So again, that music list is all here on buymeacoffee.com. It's on the Latin drumming part 1, part 2, and part 3. So every part has a different playlist. So that part goes from the beginning has from the 60s all the way to the late 80s, and then part 2 has 90s to 2000s, and then part 3 has 2000s all the way into current time. So if you want to check it out, again, it's on buymeacoffee.com, which is right there. All right, so if you want to check that out, there's a QR code. Just instead of me putting out a link, I'd rather just put out a QR code, put it there. You'll see Latin drumming part 1, part 2, and part 3. All that stuff is there, and you'll be able to see the listening list, which is all there. All right, hopefully that helps you out, brother. I see what we got here. So Juan, I'd love to know more about how you actually set these live streams up. The kit sounds. Thank you so much. It has been an adventure to try to get this all set up. So, number one, I had to switch my cameras. I still do have some great cameras, but the problem with the mirrorless cameras was I was getting latency with the audio and all this stuff. So I ended up. So I have this is like a DJI Pocket 3 that I'm talking to now, and then really quick, let me see if I can pull this off. So then this is also a DJI Pocket 3 that I said, you know what, I'm just gonna end up buying another Pocket 3 because the Pocket 3s turn into webcams, which is great. And then here I have this tiny, it's an Osbot Tiny 2 there, and then on the foot, same thing here. So I have 2 tiny Osbots, and then I have 2 DJI Osmo Pockets that I'm using for this. And then I'm gonna get another webcam. That way I can have, instead of me facing like this, like I'll have like a front camera. That way you can see me. So I'm waiting on that. And then as far as sound, I'm using a mixer that acts like an audio interface. It's a little involved, but it's the easiest thing that I've seen so far. And then since I own a Mac, I use this program called Ecamm Live. But you can use OBS if you want. I like to plug and play and just go. So I'd rather pay for Ecamm Live, and then here, and then here I'll make some like overlay. Like I can do overlays and stuff like that, which is awesome. So essentially, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pivot. So what I want to do is I want to start an online drum academy in the next couple of years, where it's going to be super affordable. And what I want to do is I want to be able to obviously provide great education, but I want to do it in two different ways. I want to do it like in this sector, but with a really organized plan where everyone has the PDF files, all that stuff. But I also want to do it in Spanish too. So because I think it's important. It's something that's always been in my heart to do. So but yeah, this thing is involved. I EQ'd everything on the mixer. Everything is coming out of the mixer. So that's for like another stream for sure. All right. Yeah, anytime, brother. Let's see what else we got here. I'm a big fan of big fan of your work. Can you help us improve the groove with the hi-hat? Yeah, there's a bunch of things you can do. The first thing is this. The hi-hat is super important. It's not about bashing the hi-hat. It's about like you have to finesse the hi-hat. So like, for example, if a hi-hat's too loud in a groove, it will overpower the groove. So for example, something like this. That's just terrible, right? So essentially, what you want to do is you want to be able to balance this whole thing. So the hi-hat, and because the microphone's so close to the hi-hat, let the microphone do the work. I kind of just try to finesse it and not too like, unless I really have to accent something, then I'll use the shaft of the stick. Like really, I'll dig in a little bit more. But a great way to practice this is just doing 16th notes the whole time. I'm gonna put your question up here. Okay, so for example, I like to do grooves like this. Like let's say 1, 2. Now, once you have that solid, the next step is to start adding accents. So we'll add accents just on the downbeat. So you have this. And I'm going to use the shaft of the stick to get an accent. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then the next step is you start doing accents on the left hand. So like the E, right? Right? And then what you want to do is you want to start mixing that combination. Oh, sorry. Then what you want to do is you want to start mixing that combination. So something like this. Right? And then the next step is start opening up the hi-hat randomly. It's all about like being able to improvise, you know, in the next step. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't know if you noticed, like for example, I'm opening up the hi-hats sometimes short and sometimes long. So that's another thing that you have to think about when you're doing hi-hat work, is how long do you want to hold out this note for? And that's the great thing about the hi-hat, is you're able to manipulate the length of each note, as opposed to, like, for example, a crash cymbal that just crashes forever unless you mute it, right, with your hand. But here you have the control with your foot to do that. So another thing you want to do is put some space in there. So, right, you can keep the 16th note kind of vibe happening, but put some space in there to give it some syncopation. 3, 4. Etc. Then you can start adding, you know, different ornaments, like, you know, 5-stroke roll or something in there, like. Etc. Etc. So that's my advice for you. Hopefully that helps you out. If you want, I am giving private lessons, so if anybody wants to take a private lesson, there's the link. You can, everything's there, payment details, all that stuff, what my schedule is, all that good stuff. You can literally just go there. Everything's there. So, but yeah, I'll teach all that stuff to you guys, whatever you need. Let's see. How much do you practice every day? That's a hard question to answer, honestly. It depends on a couple things. How much? Sometimes it's not even practice. Sometimes it's maintenance for me. Sometimes I don't get to practice that much because I have to create content for people or companies, etc. But I'm always practicing in my head. There's always something going around in my brain. You know, even if I'm writing something down, to me that's practicing, like where it's all conceptual stuff. So it really depends. When I was younger, you know, I had a lot of time, so I would practice depending on the day. It could be 8 hours. Sometimes there was days that it was crazy, like 13, 15 hours. Like it was crazy. 16-hour days. It all depends. I'm very goal-oriented. So for me, it's like once I start something, I have to finish it. So that's where things get iffy. It's like there'll be times where I can like finish things pretty fast and be like, all right, I'm going to take the rest of the day off. You know, I've accomplished the goal. But for me, it's like even when I finish a goal, I already have something else in my brain. You know, what's the next step? And I always kind of continue. So I kind of need to relax a little bit because sometimes I'm a workaholic and it's not good. I'm trying to learn how to balance life. I still haven't learned how to do that yet. So, increíble, buenísimo. Muchas gracias. Sí, thank you so much. I love all the stuff you do. I appreciate that, brother. Let's see. How can I achieve consistent single and double kicks on a single pedal? So I normally, and let's see here. So I don't really dig on inside the head. Like I don't do this. I don't really do that. I always try to come off the head. Let me, sorry, I'm gonna put your question up here so people can see what I'm talking about. There it is. Okay, so I normally just come off the head. So I try to push and then release. Sorry about that. So one good exercise that you can do is, for example, and this is like a built-in kind of thing, where you could do like a Samba ostinato, right? We have 1, 2, 3. And you could essentially just do that for a long time. Like you can do that for a very long time. Another good idea is you can do triplets, like 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and then the left foot's playing all the downbeats, and then the right foot's playing all the second and third partial. So 3, 4. So that's a good way of kind of getting things happening. You can do also like in like a 3, kind of like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, but in 16th notes. Ready, set. Right, I see some people where they put like the left foot on the double pedal, like the left double pedal. I'm not a good double pedal player, but I'll attempt it so you can hear it. You could do it like that too, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I go about it. You can also go like a something like this. You know what I mean? So it depends. Again, I'm still working on that's one of my goals is really working on my foot technique. I want to be able to kind of go like there's a heel toe kind of thing where I can't do it, but like something like this. Like where you can go back and forth. So that's my goal hopefully for next year is I'm probably going to take some lessons from somebody that knows how to really do it so I can go like dum with less effort, you know what I mean? So it's always a struggle for me as well. So, you know, don't beat yourself up too much because it is, you know, it's not easy. Let's see what we got. Diego, gracias por tu glass. De nada. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. Whoo, hello, sir, from China. Whoa, what's up, China? You have lots of ways to develop rudiments, but rudiments isn't the music. So in your opinion, what's the relationship between rudiments and music? That's a good question. I would say, well, here's the thing. The rudiment's like a word, you know what I mean? Like, the problem is that people think of rudiments like you have to use the rudiment the whole time. Like, for example, let's say, like, all right, let's play rudiments, and it's, you know, and while that is, you know, one way of playing a rudiment, there's so many ways of playing a rudiment, you know? And by offsetting the rudiment, by adding different accents, by, you know, doing different things, changing the subdivision, that's where music or the musical phrases start coming into play, right? Because you are, for example, let me just put this down. So for example, right, let's just say it is a you know, a paradiddle. Like, you can make so much out of the paradiddle, right? So like 1, 2. That's music, even though you're playing a rudiment, you know, like how you say that word And where you use it in context is what makes it music, honestly. It's not about like learning a pattern and it's just playing the pattern over and over again, right? Because you can play this pattern, right, left, kick. Right? And that's, you know, it sounds okay. Like it just sounds like a pattern. But once you start shaping it, right? So like, let's say, what I'll do is this, watch this. I'll play it in 30-second notes and I'll play it, you know, continuously so you can hear that. You can come up with some crazy stuff like. Actually, let me slow it down. Let me slow it down because that's too fast. It won't translate. All right, so something like this. You know, so like, just think of rudiments as like words, you know, and how are you putting that together to make music, you know? And again, like everybody, oh, a single stroke roll is this, right? But it's not that, you know, like singles are just singles. Like for example, you can use singles as a groove. You know what I mean? So like, just rudiments is, for me, rudiments is a term. That's all it is. It's really not, you know, like, it is what it is. You know, it's just vocabulary words and how you string them together. That's essentially what the biggest thing is, all right? Let's see. Carlito, been a fan. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see what we got here. Thanks so much for the high quality content tutorials you're posting. Never imagined I have access to. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. That was the whole goal of this, is to hopefully help somebody out and try to answer some questions, and that's my goal. Oh, thank you so much, Megan. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. I appreciate those kind of words, Megan. Really do. Let's see here. You may have already covered this, but on your fulcrum, do you use your first or middle as, you know, this one I kind of go back and forth from. It depends on the rudiment. If I have to really squeeze, I'll use the front side of it. Like for example, there are certain rudiments that I have to squeeze in order to make that happen. Like for example, like a 3-stroke roll. Like I have to squeeze a little bit more there. Or like if I really have to like push like I don't know, let's say like a flam drag. Like if I have to really like squeeze, then I'll use the front side. Most of the time though, I'm really like here on that middle finger. Just because it relaxes my grip and I don't put tension on this portion of my fulcrum. So I try to be as relaxed as possible. So like sometimes it may look like I'm bored, but it's not that. It's just I'm trying to stay relaxed. So I'm very conscious of like not making crazy faces or, you know, just trying to be as loose as I can, but being as efficient as I can. So, but yeah, most of the time I'm here. Honestly, I'm like there. That's where I am most of the time, like that. You know, and then if I really have to like squeeze things out, then I'll squeeze in a little bit in the front. And I try to keep all my fingers on the stick. You know, my pinky will come off every once in a while, depending on the rudiment or whatever, but it happens. I try not to do this all the time, you know. It does happen for me every once in a while. I'm not perfect, obviously, but most of the time I try to stay here and try not to squeeze too much here because I feel like it does choke the sound a little bit more too as well. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see what we got here. God bless, I don't know if you remember me, but this is Russ. We lived across the street from each other in Amboy. Russ! Dude! Wait a minute. I'm assuming Jason's brother, right? Cardona? Dude, if this is Russ, bro, I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic, bro. I really do, Russ. Man, it's been a long time, man. Holy cow. This is back in the day. Like, I'm talking about when I was a kid. Russ, we used to hang out, play football, all that stuff on the street. It was fantastic. Dude, I hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. Man, that's what I love about the internet, man. You get to catch up with people. Fulcrum, yep. Let's see. Saludos de Argentina, un abrazo fuerte. Let's see what we got here. When you're building a fill, how do you feel a bit blocked when your upper body is turning towards moving? When you're building up a fill, do you also feel a little blocked when your upper body is turned? No, because the thing is, I have to naturally turn that way because the distance is a little bit, you know, like especially like in this angle, you'll see here more on, let's see, right side. So like I have to turn this way. It seems like a lot like on the left side, but like I'm not really, you know, like if I'm here, right, if I go like this, then I feel very uncomfortable. Like my shoulders feel very uncomfortable. So I have to turn a little bit just to kind of get there. And honestly, like I don't feel like anything is blocking me and moving back to the hi-hat. Because for me, like if I'm gonna go back to the hi-hat, I'm probably gonna crash on the left hand. Even if I crash on the right hand, I'm already like here and then crashing and turning so that I can get to the hi-hat, if that makes any sense. So for example, let's say, I don't know. As soon as I crash, I'm already turning. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I go about things. Like I'm pretty efficient when it comes to trying to get the movements as much as I can. But yeah, or what you can do is like if you feel like, oh man, you need more time, you crash on the one, don't play the eighth note, the and it's just coming on two. So you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I go about it, Steven. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Let's see. Juan Carlito, este video queda en YouTube. Realmente no sé qué voy a hacer con el video. So I don't know if I'll leave this up on YouTube. If you want me to leave it on YouTube, let me know. Just give me a thumbs up and maybe I'll leave it up here. But we'll see. Okay. Está. ¿Qué tan suelta están? ¿Cuándo? Realmente te voy a dar como un 9. Todo depende en el movimiento y cuántas notas tengo que tocar. So, te voy a decir el 9. All right, so he's essentially asking me how relaxed I am when I move around the drums, like if I'm doing things fast. I told him a 9. It really depends on how many notes I have to press and, you know, the rudiment or the pattern that I'm playing, essentially. Let's see here. Can you show us how in groove you use that right, left kick, right, left, right you showed in a YouTube short? What's the pattern? Let's see. Oh, I don't really use that on a... Honestly, I don't really use that in a groove. Well, there you go. You can use it there like that. So like, let's say here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So like if you just break down what the hands are doing, the hand has a melody. Dot, 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 almost like a clave kind of thing. So what you can do is you can take like that fragment, that 7-note fragment, and then fill in the rest of it. So. And like you can probably like put a clave or something over it. Let's say something like this. Hopefully this works. Let's see. Actually, that's not gonna work. It has to be a 3-2. Let me see if I can find something with a 3-2 clave for you so you can. Let's see what we got here. All right, something like this. Hopefully this works. Bam, there you go. Look at that, you just created something live. So that's how you do it, Frank. That's how I would go about it. Just take the small fragment, honestly. Let me just get your question out of here. So what I would do is I would just take the small fragment. Let me get this out. Steve, I answered that. So take the small fragment and then build on that fragment. You don't always have to play the fragment over and over and over and over again. It definitely will, you know, just think of it like a little like a word, and then, you know, build from that word and, you know, make a sentence. You know, let's see what we got here. Gracias. Muy bien. Ajá. Muchísimas gracias. You're welcome, Mike. Anytime. Let's see. What are different ways to interpret the rhythms and syncopation by? Oh man, that is a whole lesson which I have on my YouTube channel. But I'll hook you up. Give me 1 second. Let me let's go here. Let's say syncopation. Hold on. I got a bunch of stuff that I wrote down here that has, let's see, syncopation. So there's a lot of ideas. So for example, you can take syncopation and go nuts with this. The first thing you can do is, let me pull up syncopation so you can, and I'll do this. We'll go this and this. Okay, cool. Actually, no, that's a bad angle. Let's do this. Okay, so give me 1 second so I can pull up syncopation. Set list, drum method books. Okay, so let's say syncopation, Ted Reed, boom. Okay, so I kind of give you an insight here. Everyone pretty much plays this one all the time, this exercise 1. So what I'll do is just the first line, right? So the first line, what I'll do is I'll fill in all in between first, all right? So, and then also let me put your question up so people know what the heck is going on here. I'll put it somewhere here. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. All right, so essentially what I like to do is, the first thing is I like to fill in first, do all the fill-ins with the accent. So 1, 2. Right, so that's one way of doing it, right? The next way of doing it is you can add, keep the same thing and then add triplets in, oh, I'm sorry, add diddles in there. So, and I'll do it slower. A cool way, an also cool way of doing it is playing flams in there. So playing like the same thing, but adding flams. And by adding flams, you'll get more finger control, or like some, you'll have to have some more finger control, but also some endurance. So. And then do the same thing off the left hand lead. That way you can do it off of both. You can also like keep that same rhythm and put it on the bass drum, and then you can play it like a, let's say, like a shuffle kind of thing. Or you can play it like in a halftime shuffle. I mean, that alone will keep you busy if that makes any sense. But that's kind of how I would go about it with syncopation. There's so many ways. I mean, dude, when I say so many, like the biggest thing for me is first make sure you're able to play the rhythm with integrity and keeping that rhythmic structure. That's number one. Play it swung the way it's written. You could play it straight as well instead of going da 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 da. It's really intended to be played like that, but you can play it check, 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 like a 16th if you need to. You know, whatever book you have, you try to make the most out of it, you know. You could play it like with a, let's say, in cut time, so da 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 da, right? You could play it in a with a clave. You know, there's just so many, there are infinite ways. And again, if you ever want to take a drum lesson, just everything's on my website as well. You can check that out. Let's see what else we got here. I love your grip. Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, what's going on, brother? Let's see. Hey Juan, I just want to say real quick, I'm about to go practice and teach private lesson. Bro, I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you found your gear. I really do. I really hope you found your gear. From a groove, using that as a fill. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. ¿Qué me recomiendas para empezar a estudiar ritmo latino? Primeramente tienes que escuchar los discos. Y lo que voy a decir es esto. Primeramente tienes que aprender el clave. So essentially, he's asking me, what do I need to study when studying Latin rhythms? So I'm telling him to first practice the clave. So tienes que practicar el clave. So, and then do permutations over that. All right. So, for example, once you go through that, then you're able to improvise. Then the next step is to improvise. Cuando termina con eso, después tiene que improvisar solamente utilizando los singles o la mano solamente los uno, ¿verdad? So, por ejemplo, 1, 2. Then when you finish with that, you add a bass drum ostinato. Cuando termina con eso, después ponle el bombo. Por ejemplo, voy a poner so uni and one and So I'm gonna put the kick on the and improvise using just the single notes on the right hand. This is again just to kind of build some vocabulary. So, empieza con eso. Realmente, cuando termina con eso, después tiene que tocar tienes que tocar el mismo ejercicio con la cáscara. So the next step is you do the same thing, but do it with the cáscara rhythm. So. Etc., etc. All right, so again, that's a hard one to answer like on a stream because it is very detailed. But yeah, let's see. Jose de Peru, un abrazo fuerte. Let's see. I like this video, guys. Costs nothing. Yeah, it's free. It definitely is free. However, if you want to support me and buy me a coffee for the material that I'm giving you, that'd be greatly appreciated. So I know we live in a time where everything is free, but remember, I still got bills to pay. This light, I have to pay for the bill. So again, if you dig what I do, if you really dig what I do, buy me a coffee. That'd be greatly appreciated. Boom, there it is. Also, just in case you came in late, I am giving a clinic in October 25th. In Atlanta. So if you're around, I would love to see you guys there. All right, enough of that. All right. What else? What else? Wow, there's a lot of questions. Okay, so here we go. How to play fills in Samba. Can you show me an example? Oh, man, that's a tough one too because I'm not really like a Brazilian player. But what I would say is make sure that here's one sticking that you can use. And Brazilian players, like they like to play the E's and U's a lot. So right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So. I noticed there is like a look. Da 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 da. It's like a feel that's very weird. All right, so 1, 2. So the thing is about getting like the kind of like you know, and just trying to get like the upbeat kind of thing. So. Like try to get like the E's and U's. I would work on the E's and U's if you're having issues with that. Because if you have issues with that, it's gonna be hard to sound, or at least try to sound authentic as possible. And again, I'm not a Brazilian drummer. I do need to study that a little bit more. Or go study with with Isaac or, all these other amazing Brazilian drummers, for sure. Let's see. Sir, please leave this on YouTube. We'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Saludos de Mexico. Un abrazo fuerte. All right, let's see. What else we got here? Juan, one more time. Using as a fill. I can't figure out how to use coming out of the groove. Okay. So right, left, kick, right, left, kick, right. Let me make sure I have this right. Okay, it's because it's a 7-note pattern. So, for example, you need to go 1 E and 2 E. So, how you end it, it's really on you. So, here's the 7-note pattern, ending it as far as I can. So, 3, 4. if I'm playing that at 16th notes, that leaves me on the and of 4. So that would leave me on the and. So I'll play with a click so you can see what I'm talking about here. Say, all right, so 90 BPM. All right, here we go. And that fill will end on the and of 4 because it's 7/0 grouping. Which I'm assuming that's how you want to use it, right? If I change it as a sextuplet, it's a different kind of vibe. So 3. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit, Frank. So if you write it out, essentially like a 7/0 pattern, that will end on the end of 4, and then you can just come in on 1. But you have to count. If not, you're going to be lost. It's really that simple. Let's see what else we got here. Trust if you take a private lessons, you'll be glad you did. As someone that has studied with some big names, take a lesson with Carlito and you see. I appreciate that, Frank, for real. I appreciate that, man. You're doing great. Let's see here. How do you teach left-handed students in their very first lesson? And that is a great question. I don't switch them. If they're left-handed, they're left-handed. What I try to do is I try to just tell them to mirror what I'm playing. So, and then it's also good for me because it forces me to. Here's a good thing, and this is one lesson that I would tell all teachers is never switch your student if your student is left-handed. Reason is it's natural for them, and also by you trying to demo it left-handed, they'll see that it's a struggle, and that's a great lesson because not everything is going to be a shiny rose or whatever. It's definitely going to be a process for you to kind of try to emulate that. However, here's what I'll say. Seeing how things are, if I were to really, like if I feel like, man, that student will probably benefit, like if he's left-handed, I would go open-handed. And the only reason I say that is when you have to sit in on somebody's drum set, most of the time, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, there's going to be a right-handed kit. People are going to be like, no, you're not going to switch my kit around because you play left-handed. But people will not be reluctant if you just switch the ride cymbal over and play open-handed. And the good thing about, for me, like if I were to do it over again, I wouldn't mind doing it open-handed because then your right hand is free to play the toms all over the place or whatever you have, as opposed to, like, for example, like when you're playing the hi-hat, doom, bah, right? If you want to hit a tom, you have to cross over, as opposed to if I was open-handed, I just have to kind of go here. You know what I mean? So honestly, if the student is open to it, go open-handed. Only because, like, in the real world situation, like when you have to play a right-handed kit, like that person is screwed, okay? Or, just don't change them. You know what I mean? There's no right or wrong answer. It just really depends on the student and the level that student is at, and if the person is super young, you can fix that, or at least change it if you want. But yeah, that's a tough one to answer, though. Great question. That was a fantastic question. Let's see. La mejor fusion. Gracias. Let's see. What's your number one tip for? practice as much as you can because time does get limited, especially when you get older. Once you have kids and once you get married and once you have other obligations, you know, if you got a job and all this, well, you're gonna have to have a job, right? Because this is your job or, you know, a day job, whatever. Practice as much as you can. Take the time to practice as much as you can. You know, video games will be there when you get older, but like, take the time now because you don't, like for now, like for example, for me, I don't have a lot of time now. But I'm glad I took the majority of my youth was to practice drums, and I did other things too, but like I've really spent a lot of time on this. So whatever it is that you're gonna do, here's my goal. Here's what I say. Whatever it is that you're gonna do, whether if it's a drummer or whatever else, make sure you do it well and you do it with excellence. Go all in, you know, don't half-ass it because at the end of the day, those are the results you're gonna get. So, you know, go for it all the way. You know, if this is what you wanna do, go for it. But I will say this, learn how to record your drums, learn how to edit videos because that's where it's at. Like you have to be a one-stop shop. Like for me, and I'm not saying you have to be a teacher. Like I always wanted to be a teacher. So for me, I'm a one-stop shop as far as like I teach, I know how to record my drums, I know how to edit videos, and I can teach middle school all the way until professional level. So you have to find out what your thing is and then really hone in on that. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit, man. That's a great question. And good luck, man. I hope to see you on the stage, bro, rocking it out. Saludos de California. All right. Baja California. Muchísimas gracias por esto. Son buenos. Gracias por hablar en español. De nada. Un abrazo fuerte. So my goal is hopefully I want to do this in Spanish eventually, and you know I got to practice my Spanish too because it's important to me. So yeah, thank you so much, man. What we got here? Yes, sounds dope. Cool. Let's see what we got. Ivan, yo! First of all, I appreciate you, man. For real. For real, that is like one of the first super chats I've ever gotten. I appreciate that, man. That you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Not fond of coffee, but if I appreciate that. Coffee, I could dig some coffee, you know, not too much, but I can dig every once in a while. But I appreciate that, man. Yeah, baby, super chat. That's cool. All right, best way to try and get down to ostinatos with you do Latin beats. Do you? Okay, so it's like anything else. Everything is repetition at first, right? So for example, let's say a bio pattern, like boom, 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 boom. The first thing I would do is have my students like play 16th notes underneath that. So something like this. Then once you do that, then the next goal is, and I'm gonna take a question out of here because I'm gonna put all my cameras up. The next thing that I would do is, once you do that, start trying to add accents just on the downbeat. And then the next one would be the E, then the and then the So I'll do those 4 in a row so you can hear it. Right? Once you have that, I'll put your question up here so people can see. Once you have that, the next step is to improvise just using the singles, those single accents. So right? And that's just using the singles. I'm staying on the snare drum. The next step is you take that same concept and start moving it around the tom. So what I mean? And then, you know, always singing, or 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4, always emphasizing some sort of counting. That way you know where the heck you are and, you know, what you're playing. Then, once you get comfortable with that, then you do like double accents. Right? And then play the ostinato underneath that. And between like those 8 examples, you should be able to create, you know, good melodies. So like, etc., etc., etc. So you can really go down the rabbit hole that way. Hopefully that answers your question, Frank. And again, if anybody, I do have some slots open. If anybody wants to take some lessons, just check out the link there. All that good stuff, everything is there as far as what times I'm available, payment and all that stuff is there. All right, let's see. I got time for one more question and then I'm probably gonna be out of here because I've been on here way too long. All right, what we got here? How do you explain the importance of voice on voice on playing is something that, yeah, so for me, so if I'm working on an accented pattern, right? And I try to tell my students this anytime they're practicing some sort of passage. Let me put my pad up here. So for example, I normally, Diego, I'm going to take your question out of here so I can put my overhead shot here, and then I'll put your question in. So essentially, what I like to do is, if there's one pattern, let's say I'm going 1 E and a 2 E and, since I was there already, right? I was playing 1 E and a 2 E and a. So I would go, first step is I would go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, just counting that while playing the accent. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 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 1, right? Then the next step is I have my student emphasize the accent that they're playing. So I'll do it slow. So instead of this just being 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a, I'll have my student go 1 E, a 2 E and a 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 1, a 2 E and a 1 E, a 2 E and a 1. So no matter what pattern they're playing, they're doing accents. So for example, 1 E, 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 I'm sorry, 1 E, E. So 1 E, a 2 and a 3, E, a 1, a 2 and 3, E, a 1, a 2 and 3, E, a 1, a 2 and a 3. No matter what, even if there's like a fill in there, let's say you're going 1 E, a 2 E and a 1 E, a 2 E and a 1, a 2 E and a 1 E, a 2 E and a 1, a 2 E and a 1 E, a 2 E and a 1. No matter what you're putting in between there, you're still counting that 1, a 2 and 1, up 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 and 1, a 2 and a 1, a 2 and a 1. So honestly, that's how I go about. I think it's important because then you start feeling certain things. Even like when you're playing like a groove, like let's say each dum dum each dum bum each dum bum each. I always kind of think that E in there. So etc., etc. So that's how I kind of go about it. hopefully that answers your question. Let's see what else we got here. Last one, last question. Let's see. Saludo de Mexico. Un abrazo fuerte. Dang alive, this golden soup. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see what else. Super chat. Thank you so much again. Woohoo! I appreciate you guys. I'm so stoked I set this up. Celebrate you guys. That is fantastic. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see what else we got here. I just booked a private lesson with you. Ooh-wee! That's what I'm talking about. I'm excited to meet you. I have to check my notifications, all that stuff. But I'm really stoked. Looking forward to seeing you. I don't know if it's next week or the next couple weeks, but I'll see you soon. I really will. I'm stoked about that. Let's see. Monito drums. Oh, wait. Saludos. Betito. Un abrazo fuerte. All right, so I'll probably play something on the way out. And then, yeah, I think that's it. If anybody else has any more questions after I play a song, then I'll be out of here. All right. I might get. Hopefully, I don't get flagged for copyright, but we'll see. Hopefully not. So let's see what else we got here. So I've been working on some tracks for the clinic. Let's see what we got here. All right, I'll play this. I'm not gonna I won't be able to monetize this at all, because I'm probably gonna play this track and whatever. But if anybody wants to support me, you could send me a super chat, whatever. I ain't gonna make any money on this video because of this song probably, but it's all good. Let me put all my angles up and then boom. All right, let's go. What we got here? Let's do this one. Talk to me. I already did talk to me. All right, cool. Let's do this one. Let's see. Yo, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Anybody want to see? Hope to give a masterclass in Haiti? Hit me up. I'm setting some stuff up out and hopefully in Costa Rica. So essentially, it just depends on how you guys want to set it up. Let's see. Eso, exacto. Ese es René. Go Birds. Go Giants, baby. Go Giants. But I ain't gonna lie, the Eagles are looking good, man. Let's see. I ain't gonna lie, they're looking good. Is there an explanation for the 8-time position, or is it only for room for the mini hi-hats and yes and no. So here's kind of the whole thing. I tried the 8 over here on this side, and I didn't like it too much. I felt like, I don't know, like it was, like everything was kind of very, I don't know. I didn't like it was just like one dimensional per se, like ding dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? As opposed to like if I have it here, I have more melodic opportunities. But also another thing was I love these hi-hats here, and I wanted to keep them there as well, and I like to splash them there as well. So it's a combination of both, JC. But great question. All right, and then what else we got here? Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. And then Frank's final question: what pedal am I using? I'm using it's called the Redline. Yes, it's a Pearl Redline pedal. That's all it is. But you can change the cam on it, which is great. Fantastic. Pearl makes great stuff. All right, seems like everybody's questions. I answered everybody's questions. Thanks for joining me live. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. I know where the thumbs down came from. That thumbs down came from the Go Giants. I know that. Don't be hating on me, brother. So, I hope all is well. Have a great day. I'll see you guys next time, y'all. Peace.